Hello, you're watching Agenda AWANI. I'm your host, Fana Sheh. Today we are joined by Dr. Ronnie Gobili, Chief Strategy Officer ahead of the National Human Capital Conference and Exhibition, the biggest event organized by HRD Corp Malaysia, focusing on the latest developments and trends in human capital development. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Ronnie.
Thank you.
Right, we want the latest scoop on this event that's happening very soon. So tell us more about the NHCCE this year.
Sure. Thank you, Ms. Farhana, and also thank you to Astro AWANI for having me here today. The National Human Resource Conference and Exhibition is actually a rebranded event. Prior to 2022, it is known as the HRDF Conference and Exhibition. So in year 2022, we rebranded the event to NHCCE so that we would be able to actually give new breadth of approaches to cover more aspects of the human capital development, be it at the interest of the national HR practitioners or even at the international fraternity. So those are the main differences or approaches that we are looking at this NHCCE coming forward in this year. So we are going to have our NHCCE this year on 30th of September,
right?
Until
Mark your calendars.
until 2nd of October. Yeah, 2022,
right. So how does it differ from last year's event?
So of course, as what all the approaches that we have been applying towards our conferences, we always look into what is the trending discussions that take place at the human capital development platform. And this year, we are looking at to bring into a thorough discussion on the advanced technology, particularly on the AI or artificial intelligence, its impact to the business as well as the HR practitioners.
Right. And with regards to the exhibitors and the kind of topics that you would discuss there, do you mind elaborating a bit further on what to expect when visitors come?
Okay. So, of course, when we talk about the theme for this year's conference will be Humanizing AI for future workforce. So we will be looking at all aspects of the impact of technology, particularly the AI aspect on business as a whole, the technology itself, and how much this will be changing or will be affecting the human resource management, and last but not least, the aspect of leadership and culture, of which, in my personal opinion, this is the area of human resources where technology may not be able yet to take over from the human function, which is leadership and culture.
Right. So is this humanizing AI, is this a concern with regards to, HR professionals? Well,
generally, yes. In fact, some studies has been showing, for example, a survey done by Gartner in 2024 has shown that 60% of HR leaders, they're still not very sure how much technology, particularly AI, would actually be changing the human resource management practices, specifically in the area of business modeling and what's not. And of course, we won't be able to actually run away from this trend because based on the reports generated by PwC, for example, technology like AI will be shaping the future. Yeah, we are looking at somewhere around 2030, for example. AI seems to be boosting or generating more of the global GDP up to $15.7 billion US dollar. Mm-hmm. So based on this trending, how can we say that we are not going to do anything, particularly in the context of Malaysian business environment? So this is where we need to prepare our HR community, HR practitioners, on what are the aspect of changes that they need to look at and to prepare themselves.
Right. I mean, we here at AWANI obviously is familiar as well because we are championing AI as well and we use it almost day to day. So I'm pretty sure at the level of HR, there needs to be an understanding and there needs to be more comprehension with regards to how AI can help us all.
Indeed.
Right. So with regards to the conference itself, how do you think this topic will be addressed more comprehensively?
Yeah, this year we are going to bring at least 30 renowned speakers all over the world. The big names like John Matten, Mehdi Hassan, even Sean Kanungo and Dr. Jack Phillips will be featured during this session. I mean, John Matten himself is a world top executive coach, whereby Dr. Jack Phillips, he is the chairman of the ROI Institute. So they will be discussing how leaders in organizations should actually look into their or enhancing their role, because anything that we need, anything that is needed in order to shape the direction of organization will normally start from the leadership aspect.
Right.
And all these efforts and initiative at the end of the day will need to be measured. So even the upskilling and reskilling aspect of human capital, at the end of the day, how much your investment actually bring benefit to the organization or even the economy as a whole need to be measured, and thus that's where the discussion on ROI will take place. Yeah?
Right. And with regards to the activities and highlights that participants can look forward to, do you mind sharing a little bit so our audience can be amped up to go?
Sure. Yeah, on top of having these big names going to be in the conference itself, we also have a separate session preparing or looking into the exhibition site, where we will be bringing more than 300 exhibitors. All the industry players will be showcasing their latest product and latest technology, particularly in the aspect of technology advancement. They will be showcasing all this aspect. And we will also be having some one particular area, which is the International Pavilion, where participants can interact with representatives from the international organizations like ILOs, the International Labour Organizations, and few others.
Right. Let's look at the big picture a little bit because we have the time. So let's look at the big picture a little bit with regards to the human capital and its development. What do you think are some of the key challenges when it comes to human capital development that the exhibition, the conference itself aims to address through its sessions and discussion?
Sure. I think the main dilemma with human being when it comes to the discussion about technology is about whether technology will replace us or not. Yeah? So the answer to this, a simple answer to this, yes, to a certain extent. For example, works that normally repetition in nature can be automated, and therefore we would be able to leverage on technology. However, technology itself, in my opinion, will not be taking over the whole function of human being, whereby in the aspect of leadership, for example, while technology is advanced nowadays, but one aspect of leadership or even the formation of culture is something that technology may not be able to take over from human for the time being. So this is where this conference will be actually harmonizing this, enabling human to actually prepare or tailor or even adjust the way we currently do work in order to welcome technology and to eventually leverage on technology to actually propel their business. At the same time, to identify the area of leadership that they need to adjust in order to accommodate the current level of human competency at the workplace.
Right, so it's not about replacing you, it's about making your work more efficient and making your work more productive in a way, right?
Indeed, yes.
Right. So how does the conference actually plan to address the evolving needs of different industries, for example, because obviously there's different levels of the way different industries use technology, for example. So especially those heavily impacted by digital transformation, how does the conference look at addressing this?
Sure. That's why we discussed this theme from 4 main different pillars, where at first we will be bringing the discussion or the attention of the audience into the ever-changing business landscape, whether it's those that impacting the organization or impacting the country as a whole. So this area of business and economy discussion will be highlighting one major message, which is technology is here and we need to be able to leverage on this technology. So from this discussion, then we will look into the technology part of it.
Right.
In the event where we are not able to decline technology coming in, So which aspect of the technology that each of these organizations will later on be able to leverage on, for example, in the pharmaceutical, in the health industry, how much technology like AI would be able to actually boost their productivity. And from here, then it will reach to the next pillar of the discussion, which is the human resources part of it. While we know the technology is coming in, which area of technology will be impacting and which the organization can leverage on. So the aspect of human resources, how best can we prepare our people now for the skill of the future? Or even not even the future, the skill required is already here.
Right.
So this is where the planning on the human capital development will take place.
Right.
And the last part of it, which is the area that technology may not be able yet to take over from human, is on the leadership and culture formation.
Right.
Yeah, so this is where we are going to close the discussion by highlighting that technology is here for us to leverage, but human still need to take the lead and to form the positive culture.
Just hearing what you're saying, I feel like I'm already taking a journey into understanding AI and technology and how it will affect, you know, your day-to-day job, especially within the HR community. And I'm pretty sure with the discussion and the keynote speakers and, you know, all the attendees, I'm pretty sure there'll be some very robust discussion going on. Right. You mentioned a few industries there, healthcare and all that. So how will international or even national partnership and collaboration will be at play during this conference, and how do they enhance the conference global perspective on human capital development?
Sure. Our partners will be coming in from various perspectives. Number one, as a speaker themselves. The value add that these speakers will be bringing is their vast global experience on what is actually happening outside Malaysia.
Right.
They will be bringing some example, and actually they will be showcasing those currently being practiced technology that are available out there, and how this technology can actually look into supporting certain industry in Malaysia, where the local business entity or Malaysia entrepreneurs may look into adopting themselves. So that is the first value add that we will be looking at. Now, apart from that, at the exhibition side, we also have international players that will be coming in. They will be showcasing the technology in real time, how this technology exists at this present moment, and to what extent are those technologies that the local industry can actually subscribe or even perhaps consider to adopt by themselves.
We talk about big picture just now, international collaboration, partnership. Let's move down a little bit on smaller scale stuff. For example, with SMEs. Obviously, SMEs are, you know, biggest part of the workforce here in Malaysia. How does NHCCE actually look at incorporating corporate HR strategies into SMEs, for example?
Sure. Now, it is undeniable majority of establishment in Malaysia are actually small and medium enterprises. Right. Or perhaps I do need to make some correction. Micro, small and medium.
MSMEs.
MSMEs.
Right.
Now, while we are not denying the volume of this organization, we also shouldn't be denying the urgency, quote unquote, for these organizations to actually look into adopting automation, for example. Right? Because we can only depend on human resources capability as laborers to a certain extent. For example, most of small and medium enterprises, they are focusing on providing support to the main businesses. So their business is to provide support to the main businesses. So moving forward, these main businesses, they will look into high-end technology. So in my opinion, the small and medium enterprises actually have not much choice other than to move along to the direction of their clients.
Right.
So if their clients is adopting high technology, the best option for the small and medium enterprises is also to consider adopting this technology as well. Yeah? So we hope that we would be able to bring along more SMEs or MSMEs rather to move along towards technology adoption.
Right. And this is the great place to be, right? Where you can meet other HR professionals from different levels to look into how they are incorporating AI, for example, how they are incorporating technology into their business model, and see how SMEs can adopt that as well, right?
Indeed, indeed.
Awesome. Right. So can you share a little bit on how the conference has evolved over the years, and what are some new features or formats that are being introduced in the 2024 edition?
Sure. Well, like what I highlighted earlier, prior to 2022, this is known as HRDF Conference and Exhibition. But again, I think it's a natural progression,
right,
where the conference move and grow along a line with the movement of the world economy. So we used to discuss basic discussion about how and what types of training or human skills that, upskill and reskilling aspect that need to be given to human resources, to now moving toward how best can we actually equip our current workforce to the future skills requirement of the industry. Right. So the level of maturity in terms of the topics being discussed, the group of speakers that we engage to discuss along with us has evolved. We used to focus mostly the topics to be discussed by the local presenters or local experts, now moving toward equally balanced, if not balanced, between the international speakers and the local experts.
Right, so giving everyone a taste of different worlds, right?
Indeed, indeed. And somehow in the modern era like where we are today, information actually at the fingertips. The thing that we need is the confirmation of which information that is valid, which information that is actually applicable and doable to do.
Right, and with that you can make informed choices for your business model. Do you mind sharing a little bit on some of the highlights, or not highlights, but maybe speakers or sessions that participants can really look forward to?
Oh yes, we do have a master class as well. There are two, to me, in my opinion, very interesting master class. One to be done by John Matten, who is the world top executive coach, where he will be looking at or deliberating or discussing aspect about leadership, how leadership can actually shape the future of human capital development, bringing along the adoption of technology. And on the second master class is to be done by Dr. Jack Phillips. Again, he's the chairman of ROI Institute, where he will be looking at entirely on how to assess whatever that we are doing, the benefit, either tangible or intangible perspective on the impact towards the organization, or perhaps even the country as a whole. Yeah.
Right.
So these are the two major, I would say, on top of the conference itself, the masterclass that we hope many people will come in.
Right, I mean, it's not just for HR community. I'm pretty sure if I'm if I'm there to witness those two amazing speakers talking about leadership and how we can, leverage it in today's world, in today's business, I'll be interested to know as well.
Indeed, indeed.
Right. So how do you hope participants can maximize their time at the exhibition, at the conference?
So I would really suggest all our participants to actually be at the session throughout the entire time. That would be our ultimate hope. But of course, on top of that, to fully maximize the networking session that they would be able to get at the exhibition site. Because at the exhibition site, like what I've highlighted earlier, we have at least 300 industry players that will be showcasing their technology, their product and so forth, where I think the local businesses, the MSMEs or the SMEs at least, would be able to benefit from. And of course, don't forget to attend the two masterclass that I mentioned earlier.
Right. Do you mind giving us sort of an overview of what you hope participants will gain in terms of, probably new skills or new insights or new knowledge, so you can make them more interested and more amped up to go? Sure.
I mean, for participants, of course, our participants will comprise those at the practitioners level as well as the strategic group.
Right.
Either group that they are in, number one, we believe that they will be able to gather all the current and the most recent knowledge when it comes to technology adoption, particularly in the aspect of AI. That is number one. And number two, they would be able to have the idea of business remodeling aspect in order to change or to move along the movement of the world economy. Yeah? Because as we all know, depending on geographical limitation of business potentials is no longer the in thing for the current business opportunity. The world is your business market. So in order to tap into the world as a business market, you need to be able to be aligned with the world's technology. So we are hoping to bring this kind of value to our participants.
Right. Before we wrap this up, I would like to ask you a personal question. How do you hope this industry would evolve in the near future?
Well, Malaysia particularly is, I would say, is a country that have full potential, be it from the manufacturing perspective, the services, mining and quarrying, construction, banking, and so forth. In the area of financial, we have all the prospect to actually tap into either the local or the international market to actually provide our offerings. Now, this is where I'm hoping like industry subsectors like in those in manufacturing would be able to bring out their actual potential. We know that currently services sectors are the main contributor to GDP, for example. I'm hoping that by adopting certain level of technology, all the other sectors would also be able to propel, because technology is here to simplify as well as to boost our output level. So all this, be it manufacturing, services, mining, quarrying, construction, even agriculture for that matter, would be able to benefit from this.
Right. And I'll say it starts with capital. It starts with human capital. Indeed. And it starts with HR looking into all the people, all the capital that is there, and then moving into technology and how we can incorporate it into capital.
Yeah,
am I getting it right?
Exactly. Like what you put it rightly.
Right.
If we ought to put this into equation, before GDP increment, there is a workforce productivity, but before workforce productivity, there's human capital competency. Right. So human capital competency is the one that's going to make the biggest impact to this.
Right. Before we end this, let's give a little bit PSA on where the event will be, what time will it be, what dates are. So I'll give you the camera to do that.
Sure. Thank you so much again for Astro AWANI. I would like to take this opportunity to invite everybody who have the time, the valuable time, to actually join us in our upcoming NHCCE that will take place on 30th September until 2nd of October at MyTech. A lot of people will be joining us, so I hope to look forward to meeting you there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Dr. Ronnie. There you have it, NHCCE happening 30th September to 2nd October. A lot to look forward to. Keynote speakers, international exhibitors, and engaging discussions to look forward to on NHCCE this year. That wraps up for Agenda AWANI. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Fahana Sheikh.